Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever it is where you are, and welcome to another episode on the Annoyed Dad channel. Today we are looking at improving the electric fence for the poultry and seeing if we can get it any better than what it is currently. So it doesn't pick up very well on the camera, but you can see just in front of me here I've got some poultry electric fence. You can see all the way along the side, all the way down I've got poultry electric fence. It's best to explain what I have got currently, and then we can explain how we're going to improve it and what we're going to do. So running behind these cages here is the poultry electric fence, and it goes right the way across there, down behind the fire. It goes just in front of that blue bit just down there, and then it cuts across and it comes all the way back to this corner here. And then, because I've just put another run in, if I come over this way, so it goes all the way up to the top, just in front of the tree. And then we've got stock fencing, which is this orange stuff, which has got it's got a larger hole in it. If I just run over this way, I can show you. It's also very muddy here, so I'm slip sliding it everywhere. So yeah, we got this stuff here, which is the orange stuff, but it's got a larger hole in it, which is why it's currently trebled up here to try to stop the foxes from getting through, but it's not doing too good a job. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to replace this. Well, we're going to leave this in, well, not that stuff, but we're going to change that, and we're going to run some wire along with it as well. So this is actually powered currently off of two Energizers. The Energizers are the mains fed one, and we're going and we'll have a look at them in just a second, but they're in that shed there. So there's one which is meant to do the poultry netting right the way around, as we explained previously, and back down to there. But for some reason the electric isn't getting round. I think the fencing might be a bit dodgy. And then there's another one which does all the way along here, along, round and down, which works quite well. It kicks out quite a good kick to it, but the problem is the fence is so low, so it's kind of pointless. So what we're going to do is I watched a video by Self-Sufficient Me. He's an Aussie guy, and he changed his electrical fencing, and we're going to do pretty much the same. So I'll explain what we're going to do, and then we'll get on and we will show you how we're doing it. I'm doing this over the space of a couple of days because it's just easier for me that way. So if we go over here to the fencing, this I've just put in. This piece of wood is just going to be a corner piece of wood, and it is just an old scrap piece of wood. It doesn't have to be anything special. That's the great thing with this, is it doesn't have to be a 4-inch, 8-foot fence pole. It can just be any old bit of wood. It doesn't matter whatsoever. And you can see that's actually one which is used for feather edge fencing. So yeah, so this piece of fencing has just gone in. It's not straight because it's not finished yet. And what's going to happen is I'm going to put some tent pegs in the bottom, metal tent pegs that is, in the bottom, and we're going to peg it down all the way along so nothing can really get underneath it. And what we're going to do is alongside of it, very close to it, into these here, which is why I've used wooden ones, and there's a wooden one down the other end, and we're going to put the fencing isolators, so they'll go in and they stick out about that far, and that distance there is enough to be able to run the electric fencing wire. So I'm going to run that down. We're going to have one at approximately 20 centimetres, one at 40 centimetres. Yes, we'll have one just about there, we'll have one just about there. So anything tries to go under, it's going to touch that. Anything tries to come through, it's going to touch that. And then we'll have one at about 1.2 metres, which is about there, just above the height of this fence. So if anything tries to climb, it's going to go and get shocked. We're not going to electrify the fence itself. The fence itself is going to be like our ground wire. So we're just going to have the distance between the wire and the fence. The fence is going to be ground. I have found with these that as soon as you start to get plants growing into it, you get any other kind of issue like that, they lose a lot of their power. So if we take the power off of the fence and we put it onto the wire or the ribbon, which is running right next to it, we're going to save ourselves a lot of power. Yeah, a lot of power. It's going to be a lot stronger, hopefully, fingers crossed. So yeah, that is basically the plan. So what we'll do now is we'll jump inside and we'll have a look at the Energizers, and we'll see what we've got there, and then I'll come back and hopefully I'll be able to show you some of the fencing going in. So these are our current Energizers. This is a split one. It's meant to be quite good, but we've never really found it to be very good. Excuse the state of the walls. Obviously don't clean the walls very often in here, but it's a dual one, so it runs off a plug or it runs off a battery. Currently the battery is flat, so it isn't giving out anything, but there is a reason why the battery is flat. Yeah, obviously because I haven't charged it, but also because it hasn't been giving out much of a kick, so we haven't used it. The other one we have is this one just up here, an EL90, and that seems to work really, really well. That's a mains one, so it plugs straight into the mains. You can't run this one off of a battery. This is the one which is going to power the most part of the new electric fence, and as you can see, it kicks out half a joule and it runs over 10 kilometers, and trust me, half a joule is more than enough. Okay, so I'm just down here now and I'm clearing the fence line. The reason why you clear the fence line is because you don't want vegetation to be growing where your wires are, because every time they touch one of your live wires, it starts to earth it out a little bit. So basically all we're doing is we are going to go right down this line, right the way down to the big coop at the bottom, and we're going to clear as much as we can out the way. So what we want is we want enough room here that I can bring my ride-on lawnmower through. So yeah, in places I am going to move the fence in a little bit. I'm going to try and get it straight lined all the way through. But yeah, this is the boundary fence, and while you might think yes, it would be easy just to come all the way up to the boundary fence with it and then put our stuff on the other side, that on the other side is actually somebody else's land. So I just do the stuff on our side, so our fence will go about here. We move to about there, with room for me to be able to drive up and down on the ride-on lawnmower. So yeah, that's my task for today. We've got a couple of days of heavy rain coming in, so I'm going to be racing against that to see if I can get it all done. Right, okay, so as you can see, we have pretty much cleared this now. This whole bit here was just a wall of brambles, but that's all gone. We blast our way through. It is going to need tidying up again. It is going to need a little bit more trimming up. We're not daft, but it does for the purposes of getting done what we need to get done, so as it can be done, if that makes any sense at all to you. So right, what we've got to do now, because we clear down this bit and we've got this bit along there, that's all clear as well, but we've got a lot of waste to get rid of. But what we're going to do is we're going to plan out and work out the run of where this fencing is going to go now. So basically we're going to take it off the corner there where it already is. It's already fixed in. I'm not going to go around there because I've got more wires than that I have to go under. We're going to bring it out to the corner, and what we're going to try to do, we're going to try to run it in line with the cages. It's amazing how long doing this can actually take. We are now at nearly 2:30 in the afternoon, and I came down here at about 11 o'clock this morning. But yeah, we're getting there. This whole piece now, I've relayed the electric fencing, well, what is there, and we've cleared it down the side. So basically what I've had to do is I used a string just to get a straight line. So we've got this piece here in a straight line, we've got that there just to mark that there needs to be a turn there. It's not much of a turn, but I couldn't get it between that corner down there and that corner down there in an exactly straight line. And you can see that some of the poles there, you can see some of them just leaning over a little bit. That's not too much of an issue. That can all be rectified when it comes to putting in the strings, which is going to be the next job. See, so like, let's go to this one here. See, that was leaning forward a little bit. That can just be leant back, or we can put in one of these sort of poles just in behind it, just to pull it backwards a little bit if it needs it. Now, weirdly with this fence, now I've been playing with it and I've pulled it up, there is actually a little charge going through it. It's not a huge great charge, and it's not as much as I would like, but I'm wearing gloves and wellies. I can touch it and I can feel a little ping of it as it goes. So right, so we've got all the way down here done. Let me show you what else. Go around the corner. Hello, turkeys. See, I took the opportunity to clear a bit of the rubbish that was in there as well. And this line here, this is going to stay up until I come to actually put in the fence in, because it's leaning over because it's had other bits and pieces attached to it. So next job is to run in the cheers, Phyllis. Next job is to run in the electric fencing tape and to work out where I'm going to need to put poles, isolators and everything else like that, because as you can imagine, putting the tape on a run between here and where I left the marker, it's going to get a little bit slack, and over time it's just going to get slacker and slacker and slacker. So yeah, let's now fast forward and we'll have a look at doing that. We're just up at the top of the hill here, and this part here is where we're going to put in a gate. This is going to be our biggest gate, and to start off with it's going to be our only gate. After this we're going to add in the pedestrian gate, which will be down there at the bottom, but I'm not doing that whilst I'm doing all of the major works. We'll do that once we've completed. So what we're going to do is we've got a post here which has got the isolators in at 20, 40 and 120, and from these we're going to come across to these isolators, and these are through isolators, so that in there is just one piece of metal, so it's going to carry the charge of the fence. And we're going to use these, which are quite often used in the equestrian industry, which are spring-loaded gate hooks. So what you do is you attach your electric fence to that piece there, and you can stretch it to make sure you're pulling your fence nice and tight, and that it all gets held tightly in place, and that will then carry the charge all the way down the rest of the fence. And then when we want to come in, because I've left this as quite a large gap here, this one, large enough to be able to get the tractor and that through, so when we come in we'll have to unclip these. I will place some other screening behind there, we'll just have to unclip that, and then we'll be able to go straight through. But it'll also work well for when I'm coming through with the cart and with the feed and everything else for the chickens. So I'm pretty much done around this pit. The fence is in. This is just a piece of old poultry fencing, but you can see I hope you can see it's slightly falling apart in the middle. Might just have to have a look at that. But if you look down at the floor, you can see there's a blue string, rope, whatever you want to call it, and I've just been using that just to get my straight lines. So now I'm going to go down this part here, get these lines straight, then I've got to get straight across there in front of the turkeys, and then I think we'll just about be ready to start running in some electric fencing wire. Right, so we're starting to run the wire in, and all we're using is just standard electric fencing wire. This is stuff which we also got from Screwfix as well. We're not sponsored by Screwfix, we just brought a lot of the stuff from there because it was easy. And this is quite good because it's quite small, but if you look at it closely, you can see, if you can see, the wire that's in there, the silver bits, that's the wire, and there's lots of wire running through it, so if a predator were to touch it, they would get a nasty shock to it. And all you do is you just quite simply tie it onto where you want it to be, there is no special knot or special way of doing it. However, the more points of contact you can make, the better. So obviously I've got it over onto that piece of metal there. There's 3 windings that are covering that piece of metal. So when I clip the electric fencing hook for the gate, because this is part of the gate, when I click it onto there, it's going to go straight through that metal, straight down into this wire. What this wire is then going to do is going to go straight down to the end of the fence, where it's going to hook back up. It's going to run all the way back up here again, go around here, and it's going to go up to the top one, and then we're going to run it down and we'll be able to run it on from there. So the less joins you have in a piece of electric fencing is also the better. Because we've got some quite big long runs going in, especially this one down here, what we'll end up doing is we will put some of the electric fence stakes in. I'll explain that in just a minute anyway, and they will hold up the wire off the ground, and they will also keep it away from this, which isn't going to be from this stuff yet, which isn't going to be electrified. Right, so I'll just run these in and then we'll be back again. Okay, so we've ran in all the cables, they're now in. I've currently got the gate open and the fencing is all on. It seems to be working really, really well. But what we're doing is we're just going around, we're just doing the fault finds. So there's a few areas where we've had to put in electric fence posts just to lift the cable up off the ground. But as we walk around, we've realised that down here, this big long side bit, we need to order in some extra posts. Because if you listen, and if you look, hopefully the camera can pick that up. Just, it keeps jumping between two. Just there's a little spark that's being given off. And that's caused because this fencing is touching the electric fencing. So even though this is a PVC coated one, obviously the PVC coating isn't that huge on it, and so it will spark out. But if you look, if I can get the camera, if you see on the orange wire there's a black bit. That black bit is where it's been arcing out, and because it goes like that, that's then obviously going to make a weak spot within that cable. There we go. So yeah, that's going to make a weak spot in that cable. So what we need to do is we just need to pull this fencing back a little bit. So I just run and get another electric fence post and I will show you what we do there. So all we're doing, just up until I order in some more of the wooden posts, is we're just using these old electric fence posts that would have been used previously to hold up the to hold up the stock fencing, and we are just using them just to pull back that fencing just a little way, just so as it's not actually, I can't do this and hold the camera, hang on a sec. Yeah, so there you go. So all it is it's just in there and it's just pulling it back just enough that it doesn't make that clicking noise, so it's not arcing out and it's not causing us any issues. And all we do is we just walk around the fence and we just find anywhere like that. There's another one here, but that's going to be because the gate is open. And just another place where it's earthing out. But that's not a major issue because once the gate is closed, that'll be done. So that is it. That is our fencing in. All the way around. You can see it a bit better here. So we've got the wires at 20 centimetres, the bottom one just down here 20 centimetres. Give you a clue, that's about up to my wrist. So anything tries to go under, it's going to hit that one, it's going to hit it. This is currently off because the gate's open, so don't worry. We've got one at 40, so if anything tries to come through, again, it's going to hit it. And then we got one at 1.2, which is at the top here. So anything tries to go over or jump up, it's going to hit it again. So yeah, that is our fencing. I can assure you it is kicking out more power than the old fencing was. And the reason why I know that is because I was being smart and I just undone the top one the other day, left the bottom two in, wasn't paying attention, went over, my leg touched the bottom ones. Even wearing wellies, I did scream like a little girl. And I will readily admit that because it hurt like mad. So yeah, that is our new supercharged electric fencing, and so far so good, it seems to be working well. Please do hit that subscribe button to get more videos like this as we explain what we do with our chickens and how we do it. Please do hit that like button if this has been at all helpful for you. Please do leave us a comment down below. And please do check out our playlist and our other videos to see what else it is that we do. And see how most of our videos end with Dave saying goodbye. So until next video, thanks for watching, bye bye.